Let me ask you something. What is success? No, really. Strip away the social media filter, the trophies, the bank balances, and what are you left with? Because success, real success, isn't what you've been sold. It's not a destination. It's not a dollar amount. And it's definitely not someone else's idea of a good life. Success is personal. It's waking up in the morning, knowing deep in your gut that you're doing what matters. It's being in alignment with who you are and what you value. That fire inside, that's the true compass. But here's the catch. Most people have no idea what they actually want. They've got vague wishes, not clear outcomes. And clarity. Clarity is power. If you don't know what you want, how can you expect to get it? You have to decide specifically, passionately, unapologetically, because once you're clear, the path reveals itself. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to take that first step. Relationship. And when you move with massive action. Don't wait for the stars to align. Don't wait for confidence. Confidence is earned through action, not the other way around. Relationship. Every breakthrough in your life came because you did something that scared the hell out of you. You acted before you were ready. That's the difference between those who dream and those who do. Relationship. Now let's talk about your emotional state. Because your mindset, your energy, your intensity, it's your fuel. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you're in a lazy state, you won't use it. Success starts with mastering your mind. Change your state, change your life. That means conditioning your emotions, not being a slave to them. Relationship, you control the thermostat, turn it up. Don't wait to be perfect. Perfection is the enemy of progress. You're not here to get it all right. You're here to grow. Progress equals happiness. And when you're making progress, no matter how small, you start to feel alive again. You don't need a home run every time. Just swing the bat. Keep moving forward. But here's where most people fail. They give themselves a way out. They have plan B, C, D, all escape routes in case it doesn't work. If you want true success, burn the boats. No retreat. No surrender. When you eliminate the option of failure, your brain finds a way forward. Total commitment changes the game. And if you think success is only about what you get, you're missing the soul of the whole thing. Real fulfillment comes from what you give. When your mission becomes bigger than yourself, when it's about contribution, service, lifting others, that's when the emptiness disappears. That's when your success becomes significance. Finally, raise your standards. You don't get what you want. You get what you tolerate. If you're not living at the level you desire, look at your standards. What are you allowing? What excuses are you buying into? Draw the line, set a new bar. Because when you change what you demand from yourself, everything around you changes too. So what is success? It's not a goal. It's not a moment. It's a decision, a mindset, a standard. And the biggest key, it's the relentless refusal to settle for anything less than an extraordinary life. What is success? It's a question most people ask, but very few truly understand. Because most of the world has been hypnotized by the illusion that success is about having more money, more stuff, more followers, more attention. But that's not success. That's noise. Real success is living life on your terms. It's waking up each day with a sense of purpose, knowing that your life is moving in a direction that excites you, challenges you, and fulfills you. It's not something you chase. Success is something you attract by becoming the kind of person who demands it from life. But let me tell you the first key that unlocks everything. Clarity is power. If you don't know what you want, how can you expect to get it? You can't hit a target you can't see. Most people walk around like zombies, busy, overwhelmed, reactive, and they wonder why nothing ever changes. The reason is simple: they never got clear. You must decide with absolute certainty what you want. Not, I kind of want to lose weight. Not, I sort of want a better career. Not, maybe I'll start that business someday. No, you need to decide that it's done. This is who I am. This is what I will create. This is non-negotiable. When your vision is clear, your decisions become easy. When your purpose is clear, obstacles lose their power. And when your goals are clear, your actions start to line up with your destiny. That's when momentum kicks in. That's when things begin to shift. But it all begins with clarity. Not vague wishes, but crystal clear outcomes, backed by emotion and conviction. Once you have that clarity, you move. You take massive, determined action. Not someday, now. Most people are addicted to hesitation. They want guarantees before they leap. But the truth is, you build confidence by doing. You don't wait to feel ready, you decide, and then you become ready by stepping up and showing up. And when you move from that place where your vision is clear and your energy is on fire, everything begins to change. But even the best strategy in the world is useless if you're in a lousy emotional state. Your state controls your behavior. Your behavior controls your results. If you don't learn to manage your emotions will manage you. You must train yourself to live in a peak state. Because from that state, you can find solutions. You can break through fear, you can influence others, and most of all, you can change your own story. And forget about waiting to be perfect. The path to success is never a straight line. It's messy, chaotic, and unpredictable. But guess what? Progress is what matters. As long as you're moving forward, you're winning. Progress equals happiness. Every time you push a little further, every time you break through resistance, you remind yourself that you're alive and growing. The truth is, Most people fail not because they lack resources, but because they've left themselves an escape route. They've got a safety net, a plan B, a list of excuses ready to go. You want real success? Burn the boats. Make it so that success is your only option. That kind of commitment creates certainty, and certainty is magnetic. And remember, achievement is not the end game, contribution is. Real fulfillment doesn't come from what you get, it comes from what you give. When you find a way to serve others, to impact, to uplift, to lead, you tap into something greater than yourself. That's when life starts to feel rich, meaningful, and full. Raise your standards, set new expectations, draw a line in the sand and say, this is who I am now. This is what I will no longer tolerate in my life. Because your life will rise to the level of the standards you hold yourself to. Not what you say you want, but what you're willing to demand of yourself every single day. So again, what is success? It's clarity, it's hunger, it's relentless action. It's emotional mastery, it's contribution, and above all, it's living every day with the absolute certainty that your life is being used for something extraordinary. Let's talk about the truth most people avoid. The bridge between your vision and your results is massive action, not average action, not dabbling. Not trying something for a week and quitting when it gets uncomfortable. I'm talking about all no excuses, burn the clock, outwork every obstacle kind of action. Because here's the hard reality, you will never think your way into success. You must act your way into it. The world doesn't respond to what you think about doing. It responds to what you actually do, consistently, passionately, and without apology. You can have the best idea in the world, the greatest plan ever written, but without execution, it's worthless. Ideas are cheap, execution is everything. Massive action isn't random motion, it's strategic, it's focused, and it's relentless. It means doing the work when no one's watching. It means showing up when it's inconvenient, when it's hard, when the results aren't there yet. It means pushing even when your mind says, this isn't working. Most people stop 3 feet from gold. They try a little, hit resistance, and retreat. But the winners, the ones who create extraordinary lives, they double down. They don't stop until it breaks, until they break through, until the result is real. Taking massive action changes who you are. It forces you to grow. It pulls out a stronger, bolder version of yourself you didn't even know was there. It silences self-doubt because it drowns it in progress. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates belief. You don't wait to believe before you act. You act until belief shows up and starts working for you. And don't confuse being busy with being effective. People say they're working hard, but they're just spinning their wheels. You need to act on the things that move the needle. The uncomfortable calls, the tough conversations, the bold decisions. If it scares you, that's your signal. That's where the next breakthrough is hiding. Massive action turns problems into stepping stones. It makes fear irrelevant. Fear doesn't go away, but it gets crushed beneath your feet every time you move forward anyway. You become bigger than the fear. Not because the fear shrinks, but because you grow. So stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is a byproduct of movement. When you act, you build emotional momentum. You start to feel alive again. And the more you action, the more you build that identity of someone who follows through, who doesn't quit, who makes things happen no matter what. That's the kind of person success chases down. Massive action isn't just a tactic, it's a way of life. If you want to live an extraordinary life, then stop making ordinary moves. Stop playing safe. Play full out. Go all in. Because once you condition yourself to take massive action, no matter what, life starts bending in your favor. Let's get something straight. Your mind is not your master. You are. But most people walk around completely controlled by whatever emotional state they happen to wake up in. They feel anxious, so they hesitate. They feel tired, so they quit. They feel overwhelmed, so they shut down. And then they wonder why their life never changes. Listen carefully. Your state, your physical, emotional, and mental condition in any given moment is the engine that drives every decision, every action, every result. And if you don't learn how to take control of it, it will run your life on autopilot. That means fear drives the car, doubt grabs the wheel, excuses sit in the front seat. You cannot afford that, not if you're serious about success. Here's the truth most people ignore. Your strategy might be flawless. Your plan might be brilliant. But if you're in a lousy state, if your energy is low, your mind is foggy, your body is slotched, you won't execute, you won't show up with power. You won't push when it gets hard. And that's what separates the winners from the talkers. Success doesn't go to the smartest or the most talented. It goes to the ones who can put themselves in a peak state on demand, not once but over and over again. The ones who learn to trigger strength, certainty, focus, and passion even in the middle of chaos. Your state is not random. You create it. In every moment, you're either conditioning yourself to be stronger or weaker, and the fastest way to shift your state is through your physiology. Your body is the remote control of your emotions. Try feeling depressed while standing tall, breathing deeply, and speaking with power. You can't. Your nervous system is wired to respond to movement. Change the way you move, and you change the way you feel. The fastest path out of fear is motion. The antidote to doubt is action. When you learn how to shift your body, shift your breath, shift your focus, you start gaining control over the internal world that shapes your external reality. And it's not about pretending everything's okay. It's about choosing a state that serves you instead of surrendering to one that sabotages you. You can train your nervous system to default to courage instead of fear, to power instead of hesitation, to gratitude instead of scarcity. But it takes repetition, it takes intensity, it takes commitment. You have to condition your emotional muscles just like you train your body. Because if you don't build emotional fitness, then every time life punches you in the face, and it will, you're going to crumble. But when you've trained yourself to stay grounded, focused, and driven in the middle of the storm, that's when you become dangerous. That's when you become unstoppable. You must learn to manage your state not once a week, not once a day, but constantly. Because the quality of your life is the quality of your emotions. And your emotions are not a result, they are a choice. You can choose to suffer, or you can choose to rise. You can choose to retreat, or you can choose to step up. Every day is a battle between the version of you that wants comfort and the version of you that craves greatness. State management is how you win that battle, not someday, every day. Because in the moments that matter most, you won't rise to the level of your goals. You'll fall to the level of your state. And so raise it, own it, master it. And when you do, there's nothing you can't do. Too many people are trapped in a lie. The lie that they have to get it perfect before they can move, but they can start, before they can show up in a big way. Perfection is a myth. It's the most elegant form of procrastination. It sounds noble, it sounds like high standards, but what it really is fear in disguise. Fear of failing, fear of not being enough. But here's the truth, perfection isn't power, progress is. Progress is what builds confidence. Progress is what creates momentum. Progress is what turns average days into breakthroughs and fear into fire. If you want to win at anything in life, your career, your health, your relationships, you have to fall in love with progress. You have to get addicted to the feeling of getting a little better every day. Not obsessed with looking flawless while you stay stuck. Every master you admire was once a disaster. Every leader, every champion, every success story you've ever heard, they all started messy. They stumbled, they screwed up, they got rejected, they got laughed at, they failed publicly. But they didn't stop. They didn't wait for everything to be perfectly in place. They didn't let the idea of perfection stop the power of motion. Because when you're moving forward, imperfectly, clumsily, courageously, you're building muscle. Relationship, you're training your identity to be someone who doesn't quit, and that identity becomes stronger than fear. Progress is what turns potential into power. Think about it, no matter where you are, no matter how far you feel from your goal, if you're making progress, even just an inch, you start to feel different. You feel more alive. You start believing again. You start taking risks again. You start stepping into your future instead of getting stuck in your past. That's the emotional fuel of a fulfilled life. You don't need to cross the finish line today, you just need to move the needle. Waiting for perfect will kill your dreams. It will rob you of your courage. It will paralyze your ambition. And worst of all, it will leave you in the exact same place a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, wondering why nothing changed. The truth is, while you were waiting to get it perfect, someone else was out there making mistakes, learning, growing, adapting, and winning. And not because they were better, just because they were willing to be bad before they got good. So let go of perfection. Let go of needing to have all the answers. Let go of the fear that says you're not ready. You get ready by doing. You build the skill by trying. You find the clarity by moving. You don't sit and think your way to greatness. You act your way there. Embrace the mess. Embrace the awkward. Be willing to look foolish in the short term so you can be unstoppable in the long term. Because real growth, real mastery, real fulfillment, it lives in the messy, imperfect, uncomfortable space called progress. If you chase perfection, you'll always be chasing. But if you chase progress, even your failures become stepping stones. Even your worst days become part of your breakthrough. Progress is the ultimate power. It's the proof that you're evolving. It's the evidence that your life is moving forward. Relationship. And when you make progress your focus, perfection stops mattering, because the only thing that really matters is that you keep going. There comes a moment when you have to decide that turning back is no longer an option. That's the moment when everything changes. Because as long as you give yourself a way out, you'll take it. That's human nature. As long as there's a safety net, a backup plan, a plan B waiting in the wings, your mind will play small. It will hesitate when it should charge. It will settle when it should push. Success doesn't come to the person who dabbles, it comes to the one who's all in. When you burn the boats, you eliminate the option of retreat. You put yourself in a position where you must succeed, where the only direction is forward. And in that moment when there's no exit, no excuses, no escape, your mind finds a gear you didn't even know existed. People think commitment is just about words. It's not. Commitment is about action. It's about the decisions you make that cut off all other possibilities. When you truly commit, your brain stops entertaining, what if it doesn't work, and starts focusing on, how do I make it work no matter what? That shift changes everything. It sharpens your thinking. It heightens your focus. It increases your resilience. You stop looking for comfort and start looking for solutions. You stop negotiating with your goals and start fighting for them. You stop acting like a tourist in your own life and become a warrior for your destiny. Burning the boats isn't reckless, it's powerful. It tells the universe, and more importantly, it tells you, ship, that you're serious, that you're not interested in trying, you're committed to doing. And yes, it's scary, it's supposed to be. That fear, that's the price of transformation. Relationship, that's the toll for crossing the bridge from potential to performance. Because when you remove the option to quit, you discover parts of yourself that were dormant. You tap into a depth of strength, creativity, and willpower that only emerges when you have no other choice but to rise. You see, we've been conditioned to believe that it's smart to keep our options open, but open options equal divided focus. And divided focus leads to diluted results. Relationship, you can't build an extraordinary life with one foot in and one foot out. You can't create greatness while holding onto your excuses. If you want something truly meaningful, if you want a breakthrough, you have to close the door on everything that keeps you comfortable but small. You have to destroy the exit route, light the match, and walk away from everything that no longer serves you. When the boats are burned, something shifts inside you. You start showing up differently. You start owning your decisions. You stop saying, "I'll try," and start saying, "I must." That mindset turns ordinary people into extraordinary leaders. It builds empires. It transforms lives. It's the same energy that took someone from rock bottom to the top of their field. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not luck. It's commitment without compromise. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels, if you're sick of getting close but never crossing the line, if you're done flirting with your potential and you're ready to marry your mission, burn the boats, cut off the fallback plan, slam the door shut. Because once you do, you'll find that the real version of you, the bold, relentless, powerful version, has been waiting all along. And with no way out, relationship, you finally fight like your future depends on it, because it does. If you want to change your life, don't start with your goals, start with your standards. Because you don't get what you want, since you get what you tolerate. You get what you accept, what you settle for, what you allow to slide just one more time. The life you're living right now is a reflection of the standards you've decided are good enough. And if you're frustrated, if you're stuck, if you're tired of repeating the same cycles, it's not because you're broken, it's because your standards are too low. Raise them and everything changes. That's the switch. That's the line in the sand. When you decide that the old version of you, the one who made excuses, the one who let fear win, the one who blamed the outside world, no longer runs the show, that's when real transformation begins. People talk about wanting more success, more income, better relationships, better health, but they don't demand more from themselves. They don't raise the bar. They wait for the outside world to give them permission, or a perfect moment, or a lucky break. But the truth is, your life changes the moment you raise your standards and refuse to go back. It's when you say, "This is who I am now," and anything less than that is unacceptable. Not just in words, but in your behavior, in your decisions, in your daily rituals. Because your standards are not what you say out loud. They're what you consistently live. You can't expect world-class results with half-assed effort. You can't build an extraordinary life with average habits. And you can't expect to feel proud, powerful, and fulfilled while keeping company with the same old excuses. When you raise your standards, you naturally start doing the things you used to avoid. You start saying no to the junk that drains your energy. You stop accepting mediocrity from others because you no longer allow it in yourself. It becomes a ripple effect, relationship, and you don't even have to announce it. People will feel it. They'll see it in how you walk, how you speak, how you show up. Because when your standards rise, your energy shifts, your presence sharpens, your identity evolves. And yes, it's uncomfortable at first. It's supposed to be. Growth doesn't happen in convenience. It happens in challenge. Once you make that decision, once you truly raise your standards and hold the line, your life starts to catch up fast, your results improve. Your confidence builds, your relationships deepen. You start to attract new opportunities because you're no longer available for anything less. You stop hoping and start expecting. Not from a place of arrogance, but from a place of alignment. Because you know who you are, what you stand for, and what you're no longer willing to tolerate. You want to change your body, raise your standards. You want to build wealth, raise your standards. You want deeper love, stronger connections, unshakable confidence. Raise your standards. Don't just want more, demand more. From yourself, from your habits, from your environment. And refuse to settle even for a second once that bar is set. Because at the end of the day, your standards are your true identity. And when you raise them permanently, your life has no choice but to rise with them. So what is success? It's not a number in your bank account. It's not a title on your resume. It's not about being liked, followed, or approved by the world. Success is living a life that matters, on your terms. It's having the clarity to know exactly what you want, the courage to take massive, consistent action, and the emotional mastery to keep going when life throws everything it has at you. Success is not perfection, it's progress, it's growth, it's becoming more than you were yesterday. It's choosing to keep moving even when it's messy, even when it's hard, even when no one claps for you. Success is setting fire to your excuses, burning the damn boats, relationship, and deciding that you're not turning back. Because average isn't an option anymore. It's knowing that your life isn't just about what you get, but about what you give. It's stepping into a higher purpose and realizing that your story, your struggles, your breakthroughs, they're not just for you. They're for someone else who needs to see what's possible. Success is a standard. It's a non-negotiable. It's the identity you claim and the life you demand. You want change, then raise your standards. You want greatness, then live like it. Not someday, now, because this is your life and you don't get another one, so stop waiting, decide, move. And don't stop until your life looks like, feels like, and is the vision you refuse to let go of. Success isn't something you chase, it's something you become. So become it, starting today.